In Ukraine, shelling has hit the center of Slavyansk in the country's east as the military continues to tighten its grip on anti-government groups in the region. Locals say the army raid saw artillery rounds batter residential areas. A hospital was hit in one such incident, and we talked to the staff who were protecting a baby in intensive care that can't be moved.
You cannot pull the plug. If you do, the child would die. Personnel shielded him with their own bodies. In intensive care, you can see how shrapnel hit the ceiling.
Well, now let's cross live to Paula Sleer, who is in the region. Paula, claims by the government that civilians are safe appear to be questionable.
Well, certainly the shelling that happened at that children's hospital earlier in the day, while fortunately not injuring anyone, has left people in deep shock. One of the shells hit the admission part of the building. There were doors that were unhinged. There was glass everywhere. The children that were still in the hospital were being sheltered in a different part of the building, but most children had actually been brought home by their parents who were concerned about their safety. Now, this comes as the first evacuation of children from the town of Slavyansk gets underway. We've been talking to organizers who say that around 200 people have been safely evacuated to Crimea, but the trip was not without its hiccups. There was a point during the trip when some of the children went missing. Of course, you can imagine the trauma that parents are going through as they struggle to make the decision to safely evacuate their children. They need to be concerned about the roads. They need to be concerned about making communication with the Ukrainian authorities. We spoke with one of the organizers who explained to us just how difficult these evacuations are.
Children must be evacuated from the war zone as soon as possible. You see, even if no one has been wounded or killed, it's still a terrible stress for everyone, but especially for children. Imagine them hiding in basements from the shelling. I've been bombarding the Ukrainian Prime Minister with letters, begging him to organize a humanitarian corridor for children to be safely evacuated from the region. I've never received an answer.
Well, the violence is certainly spiraling out of control, and it comes ahead of Sunday's deadline given to anti-government fighters to surrender or else face the wrath of the Ukrainian government. We're also hearing from Kiev's interim defense minister, who says that this is a very intensive operation and that he intends to continue with what he is calling an anti-terrorist operation. But indeed, as the violence grows, so too does the number of casualties. So on the ground, tensions high. We are expecting an increase in victims and injuries.
Paula, thanks for that live report there from Donetsk. That's our correspondent Paula Sleer.